Tom, thank you so much for coming on again. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing really good. Thank you for having me on. It's another beautiful day that we get to trade. And yeah, I'm doing great, man. So thank you for having me here.
Awesome, awesome. It's our pleasure. Tom, I know we've spoken before on one of the live sessions, and I remember you went in a bit about your backstory, and it really blew my mind. So I'd love for the viewers who haven't, who are not aware about your story and stuff, I'd love to kind of update them basically. So yeah, where did it all start for you? If you could kind of give us a rundown.
This March of 2025, I started just kind of dabbling into Forex and uh I was hooked. I mean, it's been a long time coming for me. It's something that I have always wanted to do. Um, and yeah, so a little bit about the how I kind of got here is, like my mindset of I know that there are wealthy people that, trade. Traders. When people think of traders, they typically don't think of broke and homeless folks. And it was just a few years ago that I was actually one of those folks.
Mm,
I was broke and homeless, and I didn't want to be that way forever. It took me about a year to get out of it I have a daughter. She was 4 at the
wow.
time, and I didn't want to stay there. And
Yeah.
there were very hard times for me. I was married at the time, and I'll say this, it's always important to get rid of toxic people in your life. If you
Yes.
surround yourself with toxic people, they're going to drag you down to their level. Yeah, no, you've got to get rid of all the toxic people in your life, regardless of what it takes. Now, I'm not telling you like, you know, just shun everybody, but you have to make the right decision for you on the inside. If these people that you've surrounded yourself with, whether they be, friends, extended family, if they're bringing you down and they are not good influences, they have to go. Because I wasn't
Absolutely.
always homeless. I went from, uh, years before that, I was living in luxury apartments down in San Antonio, making like 25 grand a month selling roofs.
Wow.
Fast forward, what, like 7 years after that, like I'm living on the streets down in, um, Biloxi and Ocean Springs, Mississippi, wondering how did it all go wrong. But I think the turning point for me, and one of the things that I saw today, and it may sound like a crappy day to most people, but it was a big day for me because I was trying to get this job at Burger King, and it was
Mm,
next to the shelter that I was at, the family shelter, and I remember them telling me that, I'm overqualified. Because if you looked at my resume, it's like I've got management experience, I've got, bachelor's degree, I'm a Navy veteran, an Army
wow.
veteran, you have all this experience, and they're like, yeah, you're overqualified. Um, and I kept hearing that over and over and over. And I remember I went out and sat on the little drive-through. Um, Little sidewalk area, curb, whatnot, and amazing Mercedes Benz drove by. And in my sadness, I remember looking at that and going, this is crazy. You know what? This is not me. I am not meant to be homeless forever. I will have that car one day.
Yeah.
And so I picked myself up, walked across the street and went over to multiple other places, which all did not hire me because I was either overqualified or I didn't have a stable, I didn't have a real address. They knew the address I
Yeah.
put on there was a shelter. And if you fast forward 2 years after that, I had rebuilt my life, um, and I bought a Mercedes. And a year after that would have been, see, that was from 2021 to 2022, I was homeless. And
Mm,
between 2022 and 2025, I have rebuilt my entire life.
Mm.
I have rid myself of all the toxic people. I am a single father with sole custody of my special needs 7-year-old daughter, who is amazing, by the way. Um, and I am now a funded trader here with Ola Prime, which, like, that's what I want it to be. That's what I want it to be. And it is crazy that it's happening. Like, it's happening. But I want to stress to everybody that it didn't happen just by luck. I continued to get lucky
Yeah.
after being homeless, even while I was homeless. There's no breaks. Nobody gives you a break when
Yeah.
you're down and out. You know what I mean? Like, they don't. I mean, even in trading, there's no breaks. Like, no one's going to help you out. I mean, like, we've got the great show, Ola Prime TV, um, all the coaching. Those are all resources that I've used, by the way. Like, I've reached out to the coaches, Michael. If you're not using all the resources that are given to you, if you're not studying, if you're not watching price action and learning, whatever you're using your indicators properly, if you're
Hmm.
not willing to invest the time and effort that it takes, not only just in trading, but in life to get the goals that you want to get to, then are those really your dreams? Are those really your dreams,
Yeah.
Sam? I mean, like, or is it just like a wish?
Yeah.
And for me, like after, going through multiple the ups and downs of life, because that's kind of how it goes. Life is never like, oh, it's all perfect. And
Yeah.
maybe it is for somebody, but it never has been for me. Um, and that's where I've learned the most lessons is through just people call them failure, but I tried and I kept trying and I never gave up. And that's the thing, because as soon as you give up, you don't lose when you quit, man. You lose, or you don't lose when you fail. You lose when you quit.
Yeah.
That's the only time you really, and look, maybe trading's not your thing, but how do you know unless you give it 100% on anything that you do? You can't just dabble your toes in it and say, well, I don't know if that worked. That will never sit with me. You know what I mean? Because I gotta know. Look, I gave it my all, can't figure it out. I would have walked
Yeah.
away happily. But I also want to stress too, it has not been, you know, perfect days or perfect weeks. I learned a lot in trading through failure. And you got to look at it. What is it?
Mm.
April, May, June. We're in July. So 4 months ago,
It's crazy.
is when I got started. And it is crazy, man. And
It really
there's
is.
been what people don't see. They see that, yes, he's funded now and all these people are getting funded, but and you're a coach and Michael's a coach, Tiger's a coach, and they've got this great show. And what everybody is seeing is the result of a
Mm.
lot of effort. No one sees the effort. No one sees me, the hours that I spend learning and back testing and going over my strategy over and
Yeah.
over and over, or all the strategies that didn't work that I've
Yeah.
back tested. Man, that's painful. You see something that you like, you think you got it, you go and test it, and you're like, I don't see this working. And but because before that moment, you were like, this is gonna be the one. This is gonna be
Mm.
it. And then so there's ups and downs, and then I've implemented stuff and it completely did not turn out the way that it happened in back testing. And so
Absolutely. Yeah.
trading's hard, but you got to choose your hard, man. You know what else is hard, Sam? Being
But
homeless. That was hard, brother. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
I can't
choose
even
your
imagine it.
hard. Dude, it was hard.
Brother, I
I
tell
will
you,
never be there again.
I mean, your story from the ups and downs. I mean, just to recap for the viewers as well, you went from, like you said, living a life of luxury apartments, 25K a month, to then a marriage breakdown, to going homeless and caring for a 4-year-old child with special needs as well. And then to pick yourself up from what can only be described as rock bottom. right?
Rock bottom.
A
Yeah.
rock bottom that most people will never even get close to or experience. Some people think rock bottom is when they don't have enough money in their bank account to cover certain bills or something like that. I mean, this is
Right.
another level of rock bottom, right? Most
Right.
people would give up at that point. They'll say, "No, this it's everyone else's fault. It's the government's fault. It's this
Mm-hmm.
person's fault. It's whatever."
Yeah.
It shows the spirit you have and the kind of fighter mentality that you have. And I think also you mentioning that you were a vet, probably I can imagine that discipline from your army days probably definitely helped in those situations. To toughen you up, grow some thick skin, and dust yourself off,
Yeah.
get up, and just continue forward. Um, and you've done it. Like you said, in a year or so time, you got that Mercedes. You're now funded. You're now on, a path that God knows where it will lead you. Into much better, bigger, greater things. So I can only applaud you, man. I can only take my hat off to you because I think you've gone through something a lot of people will never even get close to experiencing. And if you can do it in your situation, there's no excuse for someone who's got shelter, someone who's got food on the table, someone who's got a job and has a second income. And, you can do it then and become successful. And you've done it in 4 months, 4 months from starting as well. I mean, I think you
You
need to be
gotta.
studied and tested because there's something about you. There's something in your mind that almost turns you superhuman when it comes to these situations.
I think you said something really important, and I think that every successful trader that I've talked to, because I've got to be honest, when I came into this, I didn't know anybody. I didn't I didn't have anybody to reach out to. I've eliminated all the people that I would consider friends, and the ones that I had left have no idea about trading. And so it has to come from within. That fighter mentality, but you got to tame that beast.
Mm,
You got to tame that beast. But once you get it under control, it's that never give up attitude. Because I wish the me today um, could somehow send the knowledge that I have gained back 4 months ago to that guy,
mm,
who I don't even know that guy anymore. I mean, like I'm just like I do thank, my past self, um, from 4 months ago, but it's that fighter mentality, man. Like you've got
yeah.
to, fighters train,
Oh,
athletes
absolutely.
train,
Yeah.
cooks train, any profession trains. Every profession they train. And if you want to be the top of your game, regardless of what it is, there's guys right now that are getting ready for football season or soccer season, or they're already playing that, but or baseball. And in between games, you know what they do, Sam?
Mm,
Practice,
yeah.
train, grow. You don't become
Absolutely.
like a world's top golfer like Rory McIlroy or a Scheffler just by going out, you win a tournament, and then you go home and eat popcorn, M&Ms, and M's, and watch Netflix till Thursday. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You gotta
I,
get in there.
this is the thing. I mean, with trading, you don't even have to be the best in the world. That's the thing. Like, yes, if you want to be an athlete,
Right.
NBA, yeah,
Yeah,
you have to be, top 0.1%. In trading, you just have to be competitive, and that's it.
that's
You
it.
don't even have
You
to
know?
be the top in the
Yeah,
world. So
you
it's
don't.
not even
Yeah.
comparable in the amount of effort you do have to put in. I mean, of course, there has to be work, like you said, but yeah, I mean, you sped run it. Like, there's no way around it. You went so quick through the ups and downs, and you just kind of put your everything into it 4 months
Mm-hmm.
straight, and you come out the other side. And while I applaud you for that, most people don't. You don't even have to go to those extremes to get good at trading. If
That's
you take
right.
a year, 2 years, you can do it. Even if you got a full-time job. All right, we get it. You might be a bit tired at night. All right, that's fine, whatever. But as long as you put in a couple of hours a day minimum,
Mm-hmm.
then you will see the results happen in a year, 2 years time. And like you said, make use of the resources. There's so many resources out there,
Oh
you know?
my gosh. Could you imagine, Sam, trying to do this same thing that we're doing today 15 years ago, or let's
Oh,
say pre YouTube? How did those guys do it? Because
I mean,
I
that's when I
mean, like,
started. And
how? I mean,
truth be
like,
told,
you're
like
that's
I had no
wild.
clue what I was doing. It took me 10 years to get good at trading because there was a lack of resources out there.
That's
No one
right.
kind of showed me what was right. I just kind of trial and error, and that's why it took so long. But yeah, nowadays with YouTube, with all the resources available, there's almost no excuse to not be able to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I feel you 100%, because my little girl's going into second grade and she has friends and like I see all the technology and the stuff that they have at their fingertips. And so
Crazy.
this is a great example between you to me. It because of the lack of resources, you had to figure so much stuff out on your own, and it took you over 10 years, right?
Hmm.
I had access to all these resources, and it's just taken me 4 months of trial and error. And that's
Yeah.
what the education gap can be closed so much sooner. And like kids these days, they have iPads, phones, internet. I remember having to go to the library. I mean, like I graduated high school in the late 1900s, okay? Um, 1998. And I still remember like we had to go to the library and
Yeah.
look at books, which all that stuff's outdated now. I mean,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can close that education gap. Or maybe you just want to take the long route. Who
I think
cares?
the sad thing is when something is so freely available, there's less people view it as less valuable. The
Yeah,
reason books in the library and people studied back then is because you had to actually go to the library. There was a bit of effort on your part to attain that information. So when you got that information, you make use of it. Now
right.
it's so readily and so easily available, you almost don't put any value towards it. Does that make sense? It's
It
just too easy
does.
to obtain. So people just brush it off. They'll just rather scroll TikTok or whatever social media
Right.
than
Yeah. See what the
spend that
cats are
hour
doing
studying
today.
something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
What kind of,
that's the shame.
yeah.
So it's almost a
It
double-edged
is,
sword. While
man.
you have all the information, making use of it is almost I wouldn't say it's difficult, but a lot of people just don't value it because it's too easy to obtain.
And I will say it's so sad
Yeah.
because that's what I was hungry for. I mean, like I look back at like when I was first getting started, even still today, like I
Mm,
seek knowledge. I seek mentors. My I'm reading so many books now. And that's between like actual reading books and audiobooks. I watch you guys. I do my studying. I probably have taken it to the extreme, which I'm fine with. Okay, that's my personality. Uh, but it also turns out that I love it. I have passion for it. And I know that because of everything that I just told you that I seek out. There's nothing else in this world that I want to do more than this
mhm.
as far as a profession goes. I mean, there are obviously, raising my child, and that's outside of trading. But when it
Sure.
comes to what I want to do as a profession, I'm going to cling on to mentors, people who have done this game for as long as you have. Guys like Michael. I don't really know the other coaches. We've chatted back and forth, but I've spoken to you and Michael, and dive into books about like atomic habits, psychology of money. There's another
Hmm.
one. I've read so many lately, I can't even go through it. And you know what? That's another thing too, that helped me along my journey. Now that I think about it, I've probably read about, because the library is free when you're homeless, right? And it wasn't that far from
Yeah.
there. I read like a book or two a week. Um,
Wow.
I mean, because you got nothing but time, while also, you know, in that situation, I'm still trying to expand my mind.
Yeah.
Because you brought up something earlier too, that 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 people, it is very hard to get out of. And that's what I also saw is I later shared with a friend of mine, and I told him, I was like, listen, man, like the one thing about being homeless is, yes, it is very hard to get out of, and most people give up. They just don't.
Yeah.
And they don't try to get out of the situation. But there's no one that's going to get you out of these hard times except for you. There's no one
Mm,
that's going to get you through life except for you. Um,
yeah.
and the neat thing about it, I think I said this to you before, is we have like you today, me today, and anybody watching this today is a successful person
Yeah.
because their entire life they have a 100% score of winning because you're still
Hmm.
alive. Nothing has taken you out. You have
Hmm.
overcome everything in your life. And you have to go into that with a mentality, and stop looking so far down the road. Everybody's got these like 5-year plans, and dude, how about today plan? What are we
Yeah.
going to do today? Maybe a week, like,
Step
but
by step.
I don't, yeah, exactly. Because I mean, look, 5 years ago, I'm married. I've got a house. I've got two cars. I was I was in sales. I think COVID was going on. Yeah, COVID was going
Mm,
on. Um, my mom lived at my house. My brother, my wife, my two stepchildren, my daughter, or Zoe, uh, and her brother's girlfriend. I was taking care of like 9 people.
wow.
9, right? Who was the only one working? Me,
Yeah.
me. And so if you would have asked that guy, who I 100% don't even recognize that guy, 5 years ago, what's your 5-year plan? I would have been like, well, number one, I think next year we should be homeless. We should lose all of our assets. I'm gonna put my mom who's starting to show signs of dementia into a home. My brother who's special needs, I'm gonna get him hooked up with a nice house as well. And yeah, we're gonna go down to the coast. My business partner's um, gonna not give me the money that he owes me. Uh, and we're just going to be homeless and we're going to lose everything.
Mm.
And by the end of it, we're going to live in a shelter. I'm going to leave all of you with my daughter. Eventually, at the end of it, I'm going to have a house again and I'm going to drive a Mercedes and I'm going to be a trader. 5 years.
Never would have guessed that, would you?
No, no. And I hope no one ever has to go through that. Learn from others. Don't do that.
Absolutely. Learn from others. So true. But sadly, I think people learn from pain as a
Yeah.
whole. You can, even just in trading, you can tell people don't do this. Don't overtrade, don't get emotional, don't move your stop loss, don't, all the typical stuff. That's bare basic stuff, right? When it comes to risk
Hmm.
management. And people, they'll listen to it, they'll understand it, but they won't put it into practice until they get beat so many times and it hurts so much. And they finally say, okay, you are right. I'm gonna stop doing it. So
Yeah, I'm that
it's
guy.
almost, yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
look, man,
everyone's like that. I mean,
everyone starts there. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
just human nature. We learn
Totally,
from
man.
pain. How many
Yeah.
times is it, you see something terrible happen in the news and you say, it's never going to happen to me. And then when it does happen to you, then all of a sudden, do you wear your seatbelt or do you know what I mean? Do whatever
Yeah.
you should have been doing it from the get-go.
Yeah.
So it's always the same. That's just people.
It is just people, man. Oh, I've learned to never say this. Oh, it can't get any worse than this. My
Oof.
friend, it can. It's like
Yeah.
watching the guy at the roulette wheel sometimes, when I used to go to the casino. Like, oh, 17's got to hit, man. 17's got to hit. And I'm like, oh, my man. No, it doesn't. Mm-mm. And
Yeah.
what does he keep doing? Going to the ATM until he's out of dang
Mm.
money. That number never has to come around.
Yeah.
Painful,
Yeah.
painful
Crazy.
lessons in life. I love it. I love
Well,
learning in the
Tom,
pain.
it's true. Pain is actually a great motivator. It's a great life coach almost. Without pain,
It is, man.
I mean, yeah, no one likes pain, but pain is almost so necessary to have in your life. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you'll end up repeating bad mistakes over and over again, you'll never learn. You need pain. Pain is
Right.
there for a reason,
You
and
got
you
to
got to
have the
use it.
pain.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what is no pain, no gain. I mean,
exactly. Yeah, no
I
pain, no
mean, hard
gain.
times create strong people. Perfect example
Hmm.
is myself, I'm sure. And I'm not alone in this, guys. Like, this is just my story. Everybody's story is different, but I know this. Everyone's had some serious pain in their life. Again, if
Sure.
not, I don't think you exist. But hard times create strong people, and
Hmm.
weak and
Good times create
good
weak
times
people.
create. That's exactly right. And that's why they
Yeah.
say like the money, wealth only lasts, what is it, 3 generations?
Hmm.
You got the grandfather who made the money, the child who takes care of it, and then the grandchild who eventually blows it
Blows it.
all or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
It's
there's
so
got to be a
true.
lot more fancier parable than what I just gave you there, but yeah, that's kind of how it boils down.
But ultimately, it is yes, a generalization, but it's a generalization for a reason because it is
Hmm?
generically true. So,
Yep.
um, but Tom, let's move on a little bit about your strategy, the way you trade.
Yes.
I know you showed a little bit on the live session, but it was right towards the end, so we have a bit more
Right.
time now. So if you want to pop up your charts, let's have a
Yep.
good look.
Yep. Let's start working there. So this is
Yeah.
actually live right now. Um, I'm gonna slide you over here. So this is what's going on literally right now. Now my time it's well we use New York time. It's 8:30. Um, I'm not trading at this time. I don't trade until 9 a.m. Eastern.
Hmm.
I'm using two assets, two currencies, GBP USD and Euro USD. Um, and the first thing, I'm just going to pretend like I'm setting up for a trading day. Some of the things that you will see on my screen are, um, you see these key levels over here.
Yeah.
So, to those who are new to trading, I mean, this is previous week high, previous day high, day low, week low, month. I've even got month on here. I'm sure month is way up there, but if things go that high, then we've hit gold. But um, this is an hourly chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an assessment on the hourly.
Hmm.
Okay. And so I use higher time frames and I trade. I use the hourly time frame as my higher time frame, and I trade on the 5 minute time frame.
Yeah.
I've learned to stay away from the minute as much as I love it. Um, it doesn't work out well for me. So please, if you're a 1 minute trader, that's cool. Like I like that on other assets, not on this one, and I'm dead serious about that. Now, so being that this is the hourly, there's things that I'm going to take a look at. Um, you want me to share the indicator that I'm using? Is that
Yeah,
cool?
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
of course. Yeah.
So I use what's called there's two that you'll see here. The kill zones, which just allow me to see, Asia, London sessions, as well as the current New York session when it's going on. Um, Now, the Lux Algo Smart Money concepts, um, it's going to show me my premium, my equilibrium, and my discount. Okay.
Hmm.
The key thing to note about that is not to buy in premium, not to sell in discount. However, that comes with an asterisk, which I'll get into in just a second. But typically, that's you want to buy. I'm sorry, not you want to buy in discount. You don't want to buy in premium, and vice versa. So
Yeah.
here we are doing my morning assessment right here. I'm seeing that currently prices and discount on the hourly. We just broke a key level, the previous day low. All right, so I'm going to take that into account. Yes, there is a downtrend right there, but this could be a potential spot for a reversal. Okay, and if not, I'll know here shortly, but there's no trade currently. Okay. So the
Yeah.
next thing we do is we pop down to the 5 minute, and I'm going to see the same thing. So now you can see. Okay, cool. So this is London session. Man, it's already swept low. Went through the previous day low. That doesn't really count. But now we're sitting above EQ, broke the London low. Okay, cool. So price is sitting right at equilibrium
Hmm.
for me. And that is definitely a no trade zone. You'll see that there's a fair value gap that's right here. And what I'm going to look for right now is if price is going to go higher than this London high, it's going to need to. This is where I say I would buy. I previously I told you you don't buy in premium. Okay. There has to be a reason that I would because you don't want to count yourself out of not of a trade because
Yeah.
if I'm going to buy in premium, it's going to have to cross this change in the state of delivery that's going to happen right here. And
Hmm.
the reason why is because um, that means that it's going to be a continuation, right? So if it goes lower, which I also, there's an option for it to do, that means that it's going to reverse out of there. And so, yes, there has to be context taken into what I'm doing, and it probably doesn't make sense, but basically, I'll sum it up. I'm looking for key levels. What is price doing at those key levels? And then I'm going to not just react, but I'll give you an example. If price continues and it closes above this, let me see, it's got a couple more minutes here, and it creates a fair value gap. Let's say like it did like this right here.
Hmm.
See how it comes above this? Oops. And I'll give you an example on an actual thing. This right
Yeah.
here to me, we'll do a replay. Perfect. I would take this trade if it were during my trade session time,
Yeah.
because I've got a break of a key level. I've got a fair value gap. That means to me, we are not going back down. Well, I can't say that with 100% certainty. If I could, Sam, we'd be doing this interview from my yacht, right? But a higher probability trade here is obviously that if you're going to break a previous day low,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? And you just basically crossed all of this, created a change of character right here, along with a fair value gap. There's a high chance that you're probably going to go up here.
Sure.
And you could target that if you want to. But I've also learned not to tell people to trail. But that's also an advantage you could do too.
Yeah.
Some people get trapped on trailing. I've done that
Yeah.
before. And everything has to be taken into context. So if we now I've explained all of that to you, okay, and um, I will go back in time here. So let's see. And it may sound crazy, but I actually don't have to do all that analysis anymore. I actually use ChatGPT.
No way.
100%. Now, the reason why is because it's a mentor. And I'll show you.
Yeah.
I've trained ChatGPT, and I'll actually show you how I use it. So, hey, I'll tell it,
Wow.
run my precision break model questions. These are the things that I want to know. But I already know these
Hmm.
things. And it's not always accurate. And so,
This is amazing.
yeah. So those are so it's going to show you the core questions. So these are
Yeah.
the things that I want to know. Where is price in relation to all the key levels? Are we in premium or a discount? Has a key level been swept? Are there any change of characters or break of structures? Any unmitigated FVGs nearby? What is your bias? And are you married to it or just leaning? Because that's what I want to know. Yes, run full process. What it also does to me is on every single trade, um, I want to make sure that I'm in line with everything. And
Yeah.
so I like catching Chat GPT when it's wrong. But here are the 20 things that it's going to do. It's going to look at the 1 hour, it's going to look at the 5 minute, and then I'm going to tie them together, or it's going to tie them together. But here's the thing. Define this, answer core questions, which I just went over with you. It's going to set a 1 hour bias. It knows that to ask me for the 5 minute chart next. It's going to answer the core questions, the same ones. Again, confirm, was there a sweep? No sweep, no trade. Okay. That's a hard line rule. And the sweep cannot be 30 or, hours ago. It has to be recent within, I'd probably say I like a sweep within the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, if there was a sweep, yes, proceed. And declare the final directional bias. It'll list out ideal entry conditions. And then it also, one of the big things outside of no sweep and no trade that I have to keep an eye on, um, is if there's any structure shifts, just all these things. All right. So let's just pretend we're going to do one here. So this is replay mode now. We're looking at the hourly, and I'll show you how it does it. Okay. I'm going to take a picture of this.
Hmm.
1 hour chart. I need to go back and take a look at it. I'm going to tell it, hey, look, I recognize we are in premium and PWH has been taken.
This is amazing, by the way. Using ChatGPT like this. I gotta hand it to you, man. You
Remember, I
know
told
how
you I
to
didn't have a
work smart.
mentor? I didn't have a mentor. All right. So I literally I trained it to do all the things that I learned along the way. And trust me, when it first started, there was only like three things. Had to learn the hard way, right? So look, I put that in, and you have to double check ChatGPT's work. Okay. Below
Hmm.
current price, it wants to know that it's swept. Premium discount zones, price is solidly in premium. Whereas price above EQ after sweeping. Key level been swept, yes. Change character, yes. See, it picked up the fact that it's a bullish change of character.
Hmm.
It sees that, but that's been a long time ago. This is the hourly chart, right? And so it's just taking those things into context. It actually has a bearish lean, prices and premium. And these two things are swept, which is interesting considering it's sitting in a bullish fair value gap, all right?
Mm.
Most people would just be jumping in to go bullish right now. But hold that thought. Let's see what happens here. I don't even
This
remember
is
what
amazing.
happened. So I'm going to line this thing up and I'm going to tell it there's not been a recent sweep on the 5 minute side. You want to see that sweep that happened way long ago, right? I
Mm.
mean, yes, there was a sweep of the Asia that happened about 6:30, but remember, I'm doing these reads at about 8:50 in the morning.
Yeah.
Um, and so there's nothing recent. Okay. So, and I like to give it as big a screen as it possibly can feed. And so, boom, boom. But once you do this, here's the other thing. Once you've done this, this is just, this is kind of like your pre-workout drink, right? Uh,
Yeah.
because the session's about to start, technically, right? Um, Here is 5 minute. Oops. Things you want to notice. Okay, so price is pretty much at EQ. Um, no recent sweep. I'm gonna let it figure out the rest. Here's the 5 minute. Price is right at EQ. Um, no recent sweep. Okay, let's see what it spits out for its assessment. See how it gets little check marks along the way?
Yeah.
This is important. Has key level been swept? Nothing's been swept during this time frame. Remember, I told you no sweep, no trade. All right, so it's going to check out sweep, structure, fair value gap. Sweep, no. Structure shift, yes. Um, Entry invalid without sweep. Final result, no trade currently. So the
Hmm.
5 minute bias is neutral to bearish lean, but no trade per rules. Um, and it's no active trade allowed. Okay, I want to emphasize that it will keep telling me that for a
Good.
reason. And that's because, before I put all that stuff in there, it was like, go do it. And I'd be like, hey, bro, that didn't work. And then what, are you complaining to an AI because your trade didn't work out? Because it just is like, oh, sorry, is what it says. It's like, yeah, it turns out to be a bad thing. So you can't fully
Uh,
rely on AI. Just like I can't fully rely on you, like on a coach. Like
yeah, of
you
course.
can a coaching in AI can only take you so far. At the end of the day, it's me that's going to be pulling the trigger here, right? All right, so
Mm.
that's all pre-market analysis. Let's kind of see. We'll fast forward. So because it's in discount, I'm technically I will only take a buy trade unless it goes up here, but I'm not taking any trade until I see a sweep, which looks like the only available. Boom. Cool. You got a sweep, right? You thinking you can get into a trade? Negative, Ghost Rider. New York session ends right there.
Hmm.
Bam. Doesn't matter if there's a sweep. Doesn't matter anything else. I'm not taking it. Trade session's closed. Okay.
Yeah.
So this goes into, let's say, like my logbook, which would be a precision break model, as a no trade day for GBP USD. All right.
Wow.
So let's do this. Let's go live. You want to do a live one? We'll do it much quicker
Sure. Yeah.
because this is about the time that I'd be doing my live assessment on. We can do them both. Actually, let me see both of them. Um, and I'll tell you.
Sadly, we will
As
have to end in about
Yeah,
10, 15 minutes because I'll have to
perfect.
prepare for the live session. But yeah,
That's
no,
right.
please carry on. This will be great.
We are. I'm not going to focus on Euro USD because it's too far to range. But GBP USD is looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
So reset chart view, remove the drawings because it's hovering around a couple of key levels. And let's do it. Just like we did before, we're going to take the picture.
Hmm.
That's really strange. Hold on. Yeah, okay, that is right now. So this is how I do it every single morning. Boom, drop it over there. First off, we are going live. 1 hour chart. Price is in discount. There was a recent sweep within the last hour. Okay. So it recognizes that we're going live. It's got a
Amazing.
bullish lean, and we have a valid break of structure. I have to double check that. You do not have a valid break of structure. That's the one thing.
Hmm. So yeah, you do have to check its work. But I mean, what a time saver, right?
It is a time saver, but it's also cool too because as it makes mistakes and I catch them, dude, that's so cool because like I know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, of course.
And that's how I learn. I continue to learn. Okay, so now I see it switched to bias. That changes. Price is holding in discount. Um, so let's go back over to now I'm going to do my drop down, reset chart view. Okay, so yeah, price did just sweep that London prices in discount. Things are looking pretty good over here. Okay, do the same thing. Same deal, 5 minute chart.
Hmm.
And most people, you don't actually need this. I just like doing it at this point because it gets me answering questions, fires up that brain in the morning. Price is in discount, right? Yep, discount. London high just swept. And I know that that's spelled wrong. That's a great thing about ChatGPT. It don't care.
No,
All
yeah.
right. It gets what we're trying to say here. Okay. So sweep structure, bullish bias on this end. So we got a bearish bias on the 1 hour.
Bullish on the 5 minute.
Yeah. Because what's happening right now is we got a sweep right there. And plus I would it wants me to I would take a buy in here.
Mm,
However, this sweep is invalid to me right now. And the reason why I would only want to take a buy in here um, is because I'm in discount. If it goes back up here in the premium, I'm going to be looking
hmm.
for a sell. But as I stated before, if I get a change in the state of delivery, that will supersede everything, right? Like, think about it right now. Think about it like this. If this price from where it's at right now does a one or two candle move and goes above that line, what is
Yeah.
that telling you? Are we going lower or higher?
Well,
Duh.
yeah, it's going to go higher. Yeah.
Right. It eats all this up, right? And so this is where the context has to come into play because this right here, we got conflicting stuff happening right now. Higher time
Yeah.
frame says
Yeah.
bearish, lower time says frame says bullish. Who's right? It even tells us conflicting time frames. This means bullish trades or counter trends or exercise caution or reduce size. You know, don't be one of those bad boys that's like, I'm going all in. All right, not a good idea. Um, valid long trade can be taken. It does all this at the end. Don't worry about that. Um, but execution, focus, and filter check. Okay. It thinks that I've made a trade, but it's I haven't figured that part out yet. Sweep of London High, bullish change of character, bullish FVG and discount. See, that's also that's correct. So now it's literally just watching. Look at it.
Yeah.
Where are the traders trapped right now, Sam? You know?
Yep.
That's all we're trying to
Exactly.
figure out. That's all I'm trying to figure out. And if I take this trade, now that I know where its little level is, would I be interested in, because it's so close to EQ right now, 100% interested to know if it goes above this level right here and creates a fair value gap, I will take a buy. Yes, it is in premium, but we're going higher. If it goes lower
Hmm.
than this little level that's right here, check out a couple of things are happening. One, it's negating this change of character that just happened along with his FVG. So if it closes below there, that change of character to me is no longer valid. That's an
Yeah. Yeah.
invalidation. And that to me means we're going lower, Sam. And so, but what will I need? I'll need to see a breakthrough one of these levels right now with a fair value gap that forms in order for me to go one way or another. But check this out. I know that's you're edging to get in on a trade. I know you are, Sam, because I've watched you doing the thing. You're like, yes, it's going higher. I wish that I had the capability to draw. I need a, you know what I need? I was going to ask you about this. Like you're so good with emojis, and I'm
Oh
just
dear.
I'm ice cold with them, brother. I'm ice cold with them. So, but yeah,
Oh, I
I
love
we
it.
all look. If you're not a trader who's drawing emojis, Come on, man.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
gotta
you
be
gotta
like,
have fun, right?
you gotta have fun because sometimes I'll be sitting there shaking it, and like I'll even do like a smiley face when one works out because I'll be like, yeah, baby, and it's just me. That's what's so funny. It's not like I'm sitting over here with like a group of people. But that's
Uh,
it, man. I know we've got to wrap this thing up, but that's what I'm going to be looking for this morning, and it looks like I may or may not have a trade. That's what's so funny about trading. You could sit here all dang day.
yeah.
Or I don't. I sit between my session, 9 and 11. That's another thing.
Mm,
That's my
absolutely.
time.
Discipline.
Yes, sir.
Discipline's
Discipline.
everything as well. You know,
Yes,
if you
sir.
have rules, you have to stick with them. If you're breaking your own
Oh
rules,
man.
then you can't blame the market, you can't blame anything but
No.
yourself.
I think
It's as
that's the
simple as that.
hardest part too, where you feel that like I know I broke my own rules today, and people don't want to admit that they're at fault. Take
Yeah,
responsibility, take your ownership.
100%.
Take your
That
ownership,
is it.
man. Because if
Tom,
I
this
were
is
trading your account and broke your rules,
oh
right? You'd
yeah,
be livid.
exactly.
Livid.
But what are you doing?
Yeah, hold yourself to the same standards as you would hold somebody else, and you will be successful at this.
Oh,
Bro, we're gonna have
perfectly
to wrap
said.
this up because this thing is looking
We do,
good, brother. I'm
yeah.
gonna have to go live here, and yeah,
No problem.
I'm gonna jump in on it.
Tom, this was incredible. Thank you so much for coming on again, sharing this. Yeah, I can't wait to catch up with you again in the future. I'm sure we're gonna have you on as a guest trader at some point soon.
Yeah,
So, but yeah,
yeah.
enjoy your trade. Wish you
Mm.
best of luck. And yeah, we'll catch up very soon. Thank you, Tom.
All right, Sam. We'll see you, brother.
Take care, brother.
You too.
And thank you everyone for watching. If you like this video, go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, turn on channel notifications, do all that good stuff. And also join our Discord. It's a great community full of traders like yourself, all, sharing ideas, sharing success stories and whatnot. So it's well worth joining. But apart from that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Tom, again for coming on. We'll see you again very soon. Take care, guys.
Hola Prime. Trade with transparency.